Good morning, Parkside. Welcome to this week's encouragement video. Thanks for tuning in. And for this week's encouragement, I want to go back to the Gospel of Mark. We've been wanting to slow down and just enjoy who Jesus is and see him afresh in the Gospel of Mark. And that's what I've been working to do in the mornings. It's work for me to slow down and just enjoy Jesus. And I hope you've been working at that as well and asking his Spirit to help you slow down. Let me just tell you a little bit of how I've been enjoying Jesus. And boy, I hope it encourages you too. This coming week, we'll be looking at the end of chapter 1, beginning of chapter 2, and there's a leper who gets healed. And so I'm digging on this leprosy thing, and we don't exactly know what the leprosy was. It was some kind of a skin disease, but it caused you to be cut off from the community. And not just cut off from the community, like that sounds maybe, it undersells how bad it was. They had defined distances. You had to stay so far away from the people if you were upwind and so far away if you were downwind, because they didn't even want the air to touch you. It's like this is worse than any middle school pimple, acne kind of removing yourself from the community or others removing you. It was fierce the way you would be cut off. So you can imagine this leper is just distraught. He's despairing. There's no hope of treatment or cure. So even if the disease wasn't fatal in its own right, any infection you get and you say, well, we're going to cut you off from everybody and there's no treatment available. Eventually one thing leads to another and it's a death sentence. So this is where we find this guy. And he comes imploring Jesus, please help me, please help me, please help me. And what it says of Jesus is he was moved with pity. He looked on the man, he was moved with pity. And I was just thinking of my own life, like there's so many times I'm not moved with pity. I'm moved with frustration. I'm moved with irritation. I'm moved with anger at maybe stuff in the world I see out around us, or maybe I'm moved with irritation in my own life or things in my family's life, right? Like there's all kinds of things where I'm angsty. I'm not moved with pity. And yet Jesus is moved with pity. Deep compassion oozes out of his heart. And not just at things that happen outside us, but he looks into the deepest part of you, the parts of me that I really am ashamed of and parts of me I wish were different. And he's moved with pity and says, Justin, I've come to heal you in a deeper way than you ever imagined. Not just to take away your skin disease, but to make you utterly clean down to the core. And the things that you think would scare me away, boy, they don't. I draw near to you. I'm moved with pity, seeing that you're not going to be able to solve yourself, but I'll come to you and I'll heal you. Boy, that's really good. And it frees me to talk to Jesus about what's really going on in my heart and the things I'm not crazy about and things I wish were different. I know he's moved with pity. He's not looking over me like an angry boss or like an angry father or any of that. He's moved with pity to heal. Guys, that's encouraging right there, that Jesus sees you. He's moved with pity to go and touch and heal deeper than you could ever imagine. We'll be there this Sunday, but I hope you'd invite somebody who doesn't know Jesus, because the pictures we see of Jesus are just astonishing here in the Gospel of Mark. And I would love for your friends who don't know Jesus to hear about Jesus from the Gospel of Mark, whether you're reading it with them or they come and hear us read and preach it in the service. It's a great opportunity. Parkside, I love you. I'm excited for this Sunday. I'm also excited for our class on the ordinances, the Lord's Supper and baptism. This is 9 o'clock this Sunday. We'll meet out in the Ablaze Barn for anybody who'd like to be there. These are huge elements of how our faith is strengthened. And I think in the American church, we maybe have... we've lost sight of the significance of them in some ways. And we hope at Parkside to bring back the historic understanding that Christians have had going back to Jesus' days and grow in our depth of knowledge, understanding, and strengthening in our faith. So we'll talk about what those are. There will also be some questions of, who should participate in baptism and the Lord's Supper and how do we navigate that? And so I hope you plan to be there. If you have questions, let me know. But it's 9 o'clock this Sunday in the Ablaze Barn, and hope to see you there. Parkside, have a great week. We'll see you Sunday.